Yo guys, today I want to showcase my League starter for Season 3, which is going to be an Ignite Heartseeker Marksman, together with this new amulet here, the Wildfire Amulet, which is currently, of course, not in the game, but I prepared a character without this amulet right now. Already, I think, pretty decent. Of course, what the amulet will bring is pretty much more single target damage with the wisps that it can generate. It will bring a lot of clear speed for us with this Ignite Prolif that we currently don't have. I will not play Heartseeker with the Puncture procs this time. I want the whole clear to come from the amulet itself. And also with the better clear from the Prolif, also survivability will get, of course, a lot better. So this is pretty much the plan that I have. I didn't want to play like Heartseeker again, but like I said in the previous video, there was not much new for Rogue. And but this amulet basically, once I saw it a couple of weeks ago, I already knew, okay, this is what I want to play, because the mechanics are just so insane in my opinion. And it fits very well with Heartseeker, because the dot Heartseeker in general was very good already with single target damage, the bleed, the poison version that I showcased last season. And now with Ignite, it's a different like archetype now, different gearing of course. So I see a lot of potential what we will reach with this amulet here. And today I pretty much just showcase why I choose certain mechanics here or certain item slots. So as you can already see, Drelkor maybe is something that you don't understand. I use Drelkor. It's of course like a more like a multi-shot bow, but this one I pretty much only use because of the minus for mana cost to bow attacks. Usually it costs a lot more. I think like not a lot more, but 2 mana cost, and therefore we cannot abuse something like sapping strikes or this node here where we can generate mana. The problem, as you maybe remember in the last season, the burning daggers here, they consume a lot of mana. And this one also, like each burning dagger applies 100% ignite chance. I also don't play with these nodes here. So that's why if I, for example, switch to a Dragon Song and this Foot of the Mountain, if I play like an Echo, you will see at the mana, you cannot sustain it. Only if you play, or if you stand still. This is the only chance how you can sustain it if you want to play with Dragon Song. I don't want to play with Dragon Song because normally with Dragon Song you have to play close range, and close range on Marksman is something I usually don't like. It is more damage. I would highly recommend, if you want to play this build with Dragon Song, then you would mix it with Peak of the Mountain, so you have like a hybrid playstyle with crit and ignite. But as I said, I'm not really comfortable with the playstyle. I always want to move during echoes, and that's why you cannot sustain it here. That's why I go with Drelkors here. I want to have it with bow attack speed. It's very important because the base is very slow here on the bow. That's the reason why I basically go for this one, for Heartseeker with the crazy consume here. Another part that you probably already saw is the crazy ward that I get. I can just showcase it here real quick on one enemy. This one is based on all the ignite that you have on an enemy. It comes from Ashes of Mortality. This one will get nerfed in the next season, so the cap is going to be 2000 ward. It's a big nerf, but still 2000 wards to have is pretty good. It's just like additional EHP, of course, that you have all the time because it's a 2-second cooldown. Those are pretty much like the core items that really improve also the build here. Other than that, what do I have? It's pretty much ignite stuff. So with Calamity here, I don't know if it's like best in the slot, but it gives a lot of ignite chance. Like I said, I will probably change the build when I test it in the Season 3. So it's not final, it's still work in progress. This is just like my idea how I want to start it. This pretty much, like I said, only for ignite chance, increased fire damage. You can put something like ignite on bow, increased health, or something like bleed chance, because I'm playing also with this Maehlin Hubris here. This one actually you don't need, because Heartseeker, the fire conversion, already like converts bleed to ignite. The only reason why I also went with this one is because this node here gives you the Crimson Shroud stack, so which is like 50% bleed per stack. This will not get converted with this one, so I think this is still bugged. Still, I think decent like affixes here. Get something like hybrid health. Dex is something that you can always add. It also has some intelligence, which harmonizes well for the ward here. So that's the reason why I went with this one. This relic is very important. I compared also with Pillagers. I also compared it with Soulfire. Usually what you would say Soulfire has probably the best damage because it has way more ignite chance, which is true. This one only buffs your burning daggers, but mostly the flat damage part, which we ignore. We only go, like I said, for the ignite part. But ignite compared, for example, like bleed has very low duration, and this one goes up to, I think, 120% exactly. I don't even have like 120%. I would skyrocket my damage even more. That's why I'm going with this Kelthan's relic here. Probably the best in slot for sure for this build. It has fire penetration, it has ignite chance for your burning daggers. It has also some decoy support, but decoy I don't want to play because it's also like mana. You can do something with ignite on decoy. I will go over all the skills later, why I chose all these mechanics here. So that's pretty much why I take this relic here. Sanguine's here has very high base bow attack speed. I think this is even like a T6. And then you can add something. It's also easy to get it with LP, so bow attack speed, bleed, ignite chance. You can go for damage. I would probably prefer to go slow and chill, because if you play, you can also see that the burning daggers like seek out even behind you and can chill and slow everything, which makes you way more tanky, or your survivability is way better because the enemies cannot reach you here. That's why I would recommend chill and slow. For the boots, these boots are actually also very good for this build. Don't forget, the Wildfire also gives you more ignite chance per fire resistance. That's why items like this ring has base fire resistance, this one has base fire resistance, this one also the implicit fire resistance, so they add a lot of ignite chance for us. Also increased fire damage, fire pen for ignite. Very important also here, the last stat, reduced bonus damage taken from critical strikes, so I don't have to focus on crit avoidance. Still, maybe you can go somewhere to have like to reach 100% here. You probably don't need it as you need it with crit avoidance. That's why these boots are actually very good, also giving you a lot of movement speed. This ring, because it has a lot of resistances, also a lot of flat health here, so also with the implicit here, a very good ring in my opinion to add to this complete build. Throne of Ambition, always good because it gives you more fire damage once you attack a boss or an elite enemy. You can see it down here. The armor and dodge, I don't really like scale a lot of dodge and armor, so it's probably not going to be the tankiest marksman build again, but we will stack way more health. Like I said, this is just like a character that I put together real quick on MG, but with health and the ward that we can get, you can make it a lot more tanky, of course, here. All the exalted items here. This one, of course, you can change to this to the Aberoth body armor. This one you can go for the Brewmaster, or also I don't have it here for the emulators because it also has ignite duration. But I want to go with these one actually here because they also help you out with resistances here. You get more health here, so it's easy to start like this. Like an aspirational planner, you will of course have probably all the uniques here, but I want to start pretty much more like this here. And all the idols I can also show you real quick. There's actually quite some cool idols that you can get for the build. This increased health, damage while wielding a bow. Also here with these idols you can get fire resistance again, which is good for ignite chance. Ignite duration, very good because there's not a lot of sources from ignite duration here. So these are the two here. Then the other ones, what you can do is something like ignite chance or bleed chance. Fire penetration is also something that you can get here. Like I said, idols always don't copy everything. Just make it that it suits yourself for your build, also to max out your resistances here. All the other stuff that I showcased you before, I almost have, just like not as good, not the good gear that I have here, of course. So ignite chance you want to have here. Dexterity, actually, we don't get that much, to be honest. Dexterity would be good, of course, for the recurve chance here, which also means that we can apply more ignite stacks. But yeah, the gear here doesn't really allow you to have that much dexterity, sadly. But still, this is pretty much like the best what I came up with gear, or what I can imagine will feel very good for Season 3 with this amulet here. Don't forget, I can show you real quick. It's like, I don't know, like 900,000, 1 million .TPS right now. I can also generate a couple of Umbral Blades here to help out a little bit with the stacks. But the amulet will bring so much more. There was a 900k tick. The amulet will bring so much more damage with those wisps. The wisps will have increased fire penetration. They will have more ignite chance for the Heartseeker procs that they have. And again, this whole spread is pretty much, or the Prolif is something that will harm you right now, or for me at the moment, because like I said, the survivability is not there. But I think what it will look like is pretty much the spread or the Prolif here from the torch. So I can imagine that this is going to be like a very good screen-wide clear, just for Heartseeker alone, because Heartseeker is usually the single target skill, if you play it, of course, without the puncture proc. So this is pretty much the core mechanic that I want to try out. Like I said, the amulet will absolutely like boost this build a lot. And for skills, we can just go over it real quick. Heartseeker, like I said, purely for ignite. There's no flat damage scaling here. I just want to see how high I can put the ignite dot ticks actually. So all the 3 points here for way more procs from the burning daggers. The classic route down here, even though dex scaling is not that much, but still recurve chance, still a good mechanic to have even more ticks. We boost the whole dot damage part here, so 4 points here for the bleach end, which will get converted into ignite. Of course, boost the damage over time multiplier here, 1 point to give you the Crimson Shroud stacks. I think you can also see it down here. Like I said, these are only getting converted if you have Maelin's Hubris here. Then over here, I'm going a little bit more defensive. Actually, here with Dust Shroud, we can get the stacks. Yeah, actually pretty good numbers also here with the Dust Shroud stacks that we can get here. Also, the other Dust Shroud stacks come from the classic Dark Quiver combination here. So this is this part, and I want to play it with shadows, because wisps can shoot your Heartseeker, shadows can shoot your Heartseeker, so I just want to have as many projectiles on the screen as possible. The shadows I generate with Smoke Bomb, this one here, so it's going to be very important to also reduce your cooldown. I have it on my planner here as well. Cooldown on your belt, cooldown on your boots. Smoke Bomb is my movement skill. So that's why also cooldown is very good, so that I can, of course, be faster while mapping. I don't need all these skills in my bar. It's a 2-button build. Of course, you can do like the decoy stuff that I usually also do. But you can just like play around like this and yeah, pretty much kill everything on the screen with 2 buttons, which is always very cool to play. Smoke Bomb again, so 4 points here. Shadow generation, so that the shadows will shoot your Heartseeker. Movement ability now, of course, the Silver Shroud stacks, the cleanse. The lower your cooldown is, the better it is, of course, to also generate this stuff here. The last 2 points, I just put it into here for a little bit more Dust Shroud chance. You don't really need this. You can also put it into here so that your burning daggers have more flat damage. It's also something you can try. This one, pretty similar to what Maxroll did with the Dragon Song Heartseeker build. So you basically don't need all these points here. You only need the 5 points here so that your burning daggers do more damage. That's the only interesting part, basically. For Cinder Strike, I also put it like this. This is pretty much the tree that you only use here. And Umbral Blades, the reason why I use Umbral Blades here is because they can also apply more ignite stacks. Or the shadows, once they expire, they drop the Umbral Blade. I can show you real quick here. So as you can see here, some additional ignite stacks that you can generate from the Umbral Blades. It's just, like I said, a little bit additional damage on bosses mostly. It's not really relevant for mapping, but I just want to have a little bit more boss damage. You let them spin, you let them home, you let them proc by shadows once they expire. So this happens after your shadows shoot Heartseeker, which is pretty cool. And then I just have like a little bit of chill chance, so you don't really need it on your quiver. But still, because they're behind you, I would still recommend to go slow and chill chance here, just to make you more defensive pretty much at the end. That's why I go with Umbral Blades. Like I said, you could do something with Decoy, but I'm pretty happy with this whole setup here. And it's a 2-button playstyle at the end. And Dark River, I know pretty much like 99% probably of the player base doesn't like Dark Quiver. I also don't really, I'm a big fan of it, but still you can get Frenzy from it. They get auto-generated here by your Heartseeker, and normally I'm a player, I like to kite around. I'm not a player that like stands still all the time. Even with WASD, I don't play with WASD, but if you play with it, you can just like go over the black arrows, pick up some Dust Shroud stacks from here, pick out the Crimson. You don't need this because we already get it from here, but there was no other node that was interesting. Also, once I pick it up, I can generate a shadow. The shadow again will shoot your Heartseeker. It will expire, put out the Umbral Blades. So kind of a good synergy pretty much here for all the skills that I put together. Feels very comfortable to play. This is pretty much the setup that I want to do. For passives, I'm not 100% sure how my passive tree will look like. Again, once I find the amulet, I can tell if the damage is good or if, for example, survivability is an issue for the build, and then I adjust always my passives around the current situation. So this is just something that I want to do. 8 points here for the speed. Speed, of course, always good for getting as much stacks as possible. This disembowel node is insane for all the dot mechanics, because every third hit, especially for Heartseeker, like 1, 2, 3, the third hit, like every recurve here, gives you 5 additional bleed stacks, which get converted into ignite. That's why disembowel is so strong with Heartseeker, basically. Also something like Giant Slayer, multi-shot here. When all projectiles hit, you get so many stacks. So skills like this always will benefit from this disembowel node here. And here the classic setup, try to get as much dexterity as possible, just to make the recurve chance a little bit higher. Then 4 points here, definitely to get the mana back. Like I said, we want to use Drelkors so that our 0 cost skills will generate mana for us, so that we will not run in trouble with the Burning Dagger or the Burning Dagger consume. Also, I would prefer this one over this one, because this one gives you additional health gain, which is pretty good. Health gain we always get from draining arrows here, from here. I will explain to you why I go also a little bit over crit, or maybe I can already show it you here, because you can see some yellow numbers, and I almost didn't invest anything into crit, but still a lot of crit numbers, and sometimes this is something I don't understand. I hope I will see the number. You will find like a very big crit, and I personally have no clue where this big crit is coming from, like a 400k or something. I always had it while I was testing. Probably some bug with Burning Daggers still going around. I have no clue where those big crits are coming from. That's why I'm just having like a little bit of investment into crit. Like 2 points here is basically 20% in flat crit chance. Always go for it. Like 2 points, this is nothing. Also here, get a little bit of crit chance so that you have more yellow numbers. This is a very low investment just for more damage. So why not? I also didn't see like any other node that would really benefit. Of course, you can put it into here, but this one alone gives you so much more damage. Also here, 2 points just for 250% increased bow damage. Why not? I mean, still, like Heartseeker itself has base damage, so why don't we buff it just for 2 points? So easy to get a little bit more damage out of here. Classic Silver Shroud abuse, put all the points into here for more damage, dodge, movement speed. This one, of course, for the recurve chance. Here you can mix a little bit. When I had, I think, 1 point here, 4 point here, I couldn't completely sustain it. You just have to make sure that you can fully sustain it based on your attack speed. So this is something that you have to test while playing the build. And Falconer, I go with this one real quick. Falconer is the classic setup. More damage here. Get the endurance threshold here based on your health. Blade Dancer only went for dexterity and glancing blow. Same here, 15% glancing blow. So that's the cap, or that you can reach your cap is easier if you combine it, of course, with your Heartseeker. So yeah, to make it at least a little bit more tanky. Pretty much the whole setup, guys. The only thing that is missing is the blessings. Blessing, go for ignite chance here. This is on Black Sun timeline. Then all resistance is very good. Then of course the fire shred here. Physical lightning is something that I will go to help out a little bit with the resistances here. Pretty much the whole idea that I have right now, guys. Like I said, not the final planner. I still don't know how exactly this amulet works, but I can imagine it bring a lot of like power to the build. especially clear, which will make survivability a lot better. Single target damage from those wisp and from the shadow generation will be a lot higher. So those 900k, 1 million ticks that you saw here, I'm also not having a perfect character. 88, this is just a testing character that I had. I think the dot numbers will go quite high with this amulet. It's not going to be probably a broken build or anything, but it's going to be a very decent new marksman build that I can imagine this whole setup here. So yeah, I'm really looking forward actually to test it. I can't wait to see how the amulet is going to play out. This is going to be my league starter. Hope you liked it. And if you have any questions, just let me know. See you guys soon.